Back in 2018, my cousin Ryan and I were deep into urban exploration. We'd already been through crumbling factories, abandoned schools, and forgotten farmhouses that looked like they'd collapse with one strong gust of wind. We weren't reckless. We checked floors before stepping on them, wore masks in places that might have asbestos, and avoided anywhere that seemed actively guarded. But there was one spot we kept talking about for months, one we couldn't quite bring ourselves to attempt until that gray, still afternoon, the abandoned mansion on the shore of Lake Harlo. From the road, you could only ever catch glimpses of it. A sprawling three-story house with tall windows and a wraparound porch, hidden behind iron gates that had been bent inward years ago. Pines and brush grew wild along the drive, giving the place an almost swallowed-up look. Locals told endless stories about it. A wealthy family that lived there in the 90s suddenly vanished one night. They left everything: furniture, clothes, dishes, even family photos. No one ever bought it afterward. For 2 decades, the house just rotted away, becoming more rumor than reality. We parked at a trailhead half a mile away and hiked in through the woods to avoid being seen. When the roofline appeared through the trees, I realized just how massive it was. The paint peeled in strips like sunburned skin, parts of the porch sagged, and every window seemed dark, watching. The back door was unlocked. The moment we stepped inside, the air shifted, still, damp, faintly smelling of the lake. The kitchen was frozen in time. Plates stacked on the counter, a coffee mug still stained with a brown ring, cabinets open with expired food inside, and a calendar still flipped to May 1997. The living room had furniture draped in yellowed sheets, ash still resting in the fireplace as if the last fire burned out decades ago. Family photos lined the hallway, smiling barbecues, kids at Christmas, cheerful faces that had faded until some looked ghostly white. Upstairs, things felt stranger. One bedroom had a perfectly made bed, but every drawer was pulled open and empty. Another room had its entire floor covered in newspapers, all from the same week in July 1997, everyone folded open to the classified ads with quiet, private sales circled in ink. In the master bedroom, thick curtains hid windows that had been boarded over from the inside. The closet door was padlocked, and the floor in front of it bore long scratches, as if something heavy had been dragged. Ryan wanted to force it open. I refused. We had no tools, and I didn't want to break anything in a place that already felt wrong. Before leaving, Ryan convinced me to check the basement. The door creaked open and a wave of cool, damp air smelling of mildew rushed up. Wooden stairs groaned under our weight. The basement was large, stone-walled, with old shelves holding rusted cans and a broken lantern. But in the middle of the floor, our flashlights revealed 5 chairs arranged in a perfect circle. Mismatched, old, but clean. Recently used. I was about to whisper something when the sound of a door closing upstairs froze us in place. Footsteps began moving across the floor above, deliberate, steady. We killed our lights and stood in darkness, barely breathing. The steps moved toward the hallway directly above the basement. Then silence. Then the rattle of the doorknob above us. Ryan grabbed my arm, pulling me to a ground-level window half covered by a rotting shutter. I squeezed through, scraping my jacket on broken glass, and dropped into damp dirt. Ryan followed, and we sprinted into the tree line, not daring to stop until we were far from the house. When I finally looked back, the basement door stood wide open. A tall figure stood in the doorway, head tilted slightly, watching. We didn't speak much on the drive home. That night, I replayed it over and over in my head. The circle of chairs, the footsteps, the locked closet, and that figure in the doorway. Weeks later, Ryan told me he'd posted in a Facebook group about the house. An older man replied, saying people had seen someone in the mansion before, likely a squatter. But a squatter didn't explain the circle of chairs. I don't know what was happening in that house, and honestly, I don't care anymore. All I know is we got out alive, and that's enough for me.